Hey, it's just so Trish, and I promise you, we're actually still homeschooling. Whew. All right, it's Sunday morning, and I feel bad because I made a couple videos. We got into like the trenches of life, not even homeschooling. And this morning, I was just thinking and praying about you. And I'm like, I really should connect. I had a couple of times when I'm like, you can hear the birds, can't you? I had a couple times where I'm like, oh, I should talk about this topic. And I haven't really done a great job of that. So it's early morning. You can hear the birds singing. I do want to show you my garden, my potential garden. This is what I do. I made you a really great video, and like any good veteran burnt out YouTube homeschool mom, oh sorry kitty, I'm still in my pajamas too, by the way. Like any good veteran homeschool mom, I don't know, what was I thinking? Anyways, I made you this great curriculum, and I'm like, I think I found my fit. And so I got all these great ideas I was going to share with you. Show you my really bad garden. It's overgrown. Really great ideas with you and how it's working out. And guess you know what happens? I make myself promises that I am going to go ahead and edit it. And there it stayed in the QR and never moved on. So there you go. And you know what happens? And it feels so illegitimate to share those ideas because I'm not doing them. Figures, right? Figures. So here in my little garden of craziness, it's time to clean out. I'm in that midst between cleaning out. But I'm not doing them. So one of the issues I'm having, I have bugs on my dill. I don't think you're gonna be able to see them. They're these like little, see the little black, I gotta figure out what that is. All right, so this great idea to homeschool this year, gonna be a phenomenal year, right? Or whatever, getting back and pulling back to the roots, is I assumed my life would go quiet. That's the best way I can explain it. I really thought my life would go quiet and I would be able to go back to how homeschooling was when my kids were little and be able just to have that quietness again I used to have with them, and just the world revolved around me and them and our little home. Well, that hasn't quite worked out right. So what I haven't shared with you yet, and I'm sure she's okay with it, I shared it with you years ago. My mom's cancer came back. She'd been having problems with her hip. Well, she thought it was her back. She's been having problems with her hip and been going to get help for that. I'm sorry, I'm like holding my arm. My arm's getting tired, so I'm trying to hold it like in that. Anyway. And so I met with her. So she'd kind of gotten wheelchair bound without realizing she was wheelchair bound. And she was complaining about some of her pain the one day I was visiting her. And I'm like, let's go get a CT scan and see if you got diverticulitis. Because since all of our chats, I've been diagnosed with diverticulitis. It's hereditary. So why not? We went and got a CT scan at the emergency room there, where I'm like, I think she's got diverticulitis. Y'all diagnosed me. Let's see about her. And they're the ones who let us know within hours that she had cancer in her pelvis, which was perfect, as in it got the ball rolling for her. And it's pretty bad. It's in her pelvis, so she just got done with like her radiation and she starts chemo next month, as in a couple of days. So that happened. Then we had strep and mono hit the house. And my eldest, who has been doing great, in 4 days, a year's worth of progress went gone. And that was hard. And so in the midst of all this, I'm not teacher participating as much as I anticipated, if that makes sense, for their homeschool curriculum, which doesn't help. And then God blessed me with something. A friend, those moments when you meet a friend and you're like, you just feel the sense of the Lord has granted you a friend for such a time as this. And that's what I got. I got these amazing friends that are a large family, that are second generation homeschoolers, God loving, fearing people with 7 kids. Some have launched, some are home. So the same wide range as I have, same values, same similars, that live 2 minutes from me now, which is just unfathomable in all of my, ruralness out here. And she told me about a curriculum. I'm like, I don't know. Let me look at it. And trying to find that fit for my son's last half credit. And I had never even heard of it. Y'all probably have heard of it before. But I've moved my kids into Powerhouse Homeschool, Power Homeschool, which is essentially Acellus, and it's $25 a month. And it has given me what I needed. We are homeschooling. I am free. I check on progress. I help when needed. They understand their expectations. It works really good. I handpick the classes. We're doing minimal right now. My son, who this is his last semester and he graduates, I'm going to have to use my arm on the AC unit. Oh, there's the old house. From the beginning days, right? If y'all been with me that long. So he only needed math, but in his best interest for things he's going to do in the future, I put him in business management. He's taking business math. He's doing plumbing on this curriculum, which is really phenomenal. So the biggest thing me and the kids and I have talked about on it is we don't feel like our life revolves around homeschooling. I know that might sound like a little bit like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? I feel like homeschooling is something we do. It's the way that we facilitate our education system. But I think some of my burnout and some of my loss of identity came from the fact that it was like we lived and breathed the homeschool. And it wasn't like our homeschooling met a need that we needed to meet. It was like our purpose was to serve homeschooling, not that homeschooling served our purpose. And I'm quickly seeing that. Now, do I think this is a perfect curriculum? So if you come at me with pitchforks, that's not great, because I'm going to say it from my late friend, Andrea Mills, there is no perfect curriculum. She said it best in one of her videos that if I built a perfect curriculum, my husband would probably find fault in it. And if my husband built his perfect curriculum, I would find fault in it. There's always going to be something. In this season and moment, it has given us so much freedom, and me freedom. My kids know what's expected. It serves our ADHD very well, especially for my non-readers. There's reading. It's just not as over the whelm. They weren't all quick to jump on board to take over on it. We're only 2 weeks in, so maybe by April we won't. I do think we'll finish it out till May, and that will be the end of this year. And then I'll reevaluate whether we'll do it again. I did throw easy grammar in there. I'm like, y'all need to be doing some book work, some book work. I really need to do my kids, build my littler ones, math fact books, just little workbooks that I can just comb by and be like, here, do this. And they need to read more. But I'm not even in season to do that because my life is just so hectic and just off kilter. But at least I have this. Little bug, go away. Quit getting in the camera shot. So I wanted to share that with you, and the freedom of letting homeschool serve us instead of serving homeschool. With the way the world's going on, there's a lot of things I'm focusing on. I've been trying to grow our own groceries. I realized my goal this year, and sitting down on my goals, is I need to spend less money, especially with the inflation of things. I have to be so careful. I need to go back to an 08 mindset. And my kids are so much older and it's hard. I also want less processed food and less sugar, believe it or not. And some of why I haven't talked to you either is I got sick, and whatever this mysterious, virus is, is like just being so lethargic for like 4 or 5 weeks and my body aching. And I didn't feel like I could shake it. And the inflammation was huge, where I put on like 10 pounds since January, the beginning of January. 10 pounds, 10 pounds. And I know it was all inflammation. I couldn't close my hands. I was taking ibuprofen to reduce the inflammation. And I just finally was like, I'm miserable anytime I eat, so why bother? And I just went to intermittent fasting and I cut out sugar. And I'm doing my best to cut out artificial sugar. It's a long time addiction. Because as much as I want to say it's what I'm just used to, the reality is it's really hard to give up because I demand it. And you don't know you're addicted to it until you try to get rid of it. So my coffee today, I am drinking drip coffee, believe it or not. And I have like worn it all over my pajamas this morning. So those are getting washed today. Is milk and coffee and baking soda and a little vanilla extract and one pink packet of Cancer. You know, one pink packet. So I will say in the almost a week now, I haven't had any Diet Coke. My soda addiction's bad. So I've been working on that. So one of my goals is to remove the excess sugar and now I want to call it refined. I can't, fake food. Processed. Getting rid of highly processed food. And the other part is meal planning. As in, or not really meal planning, simplifying my groceries. Because I remember that was one of the key things I did in 2008 that kept our budget down, was I simplified us to just basic ingredients. And I went from there. But I'm only showing you one garden. I'm going to start showing you more of my garden and not just the whole life revolving around homeschooling, which is funny because that's why I'm not making so many videos, because it's not running me. It is not running me. This is my herb garden. I don't think I can flip. I can't flip. So you're like stuck in this mode. I could piece them together. I don't even know how to do that. And I'd go under editing and I'd never do it. This is my herb garden. I do have carrots in here. Right there. I think that's California poppy. That is my dill that I have bugs in. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to squash them today. Okay. So I planted borage because it's supposed to be phenomenal. Like it's really pretty. It's supposed to be phenomenal. Oh, I got a head itch. I almost itched it with my camera hand. We're not here for editing. You'll never have an AI video from me. I'm not going to even cross that bridge. It's all rough. That's your friend, Trish. Borage is supposed to be really helpful. I don't know. I got to get a commonplace book. I'm not going to lie. We could do a whole video on what I learned from the cell towers being out this week. It was really phenomenal. There's some things I'm contemplating changing. I have carrots. I have cilantro. Here's some of my cilantro. Right here, I gotta show you this. Oh, I don't know if I can show it to you. See those right there? That is gigantic garlic. So that is garlic that from the grocery store. That is the big elephant ones. I even got it from Walmart. And I broke the cloves up. And I got them wet, put them in a Ziploc bag, let them root, and I stuck them in my garden. So straight from the grocery store, growing my own garlic. We got some parsley, some bitter herbs. That's actually good for digestion. I should be picking it and putting it in. Basil, that's lemon balm. That's a little nostrum. I think that's yarrow. And that is thyme, if you can even see those things. I do have an amazing little onion bed. My thing is, I've actually grown them all from seed. So I'm going to say goodbye to you this morning because my husband's now staring at me and I haven't made a video in front of him in forever. And I will see y'all soon. Bye.